Okay, so here's the next lesson in the piano chord finder. I'll just do maybe like the first couple of pages or so just to kind of get you started. So page one just is a description of what this actually means. So you will write your chord name in the box like this, and then you draw circles in here to remind yourself which notes actually fit in that particular chord. And so one example we're going to do over the next page is an F7 chord. And so just so that you know, because there's nothing else there to change this, F, since it's in there, would be one of the notes. And this is an F right here where I'm pointing with my mouse. So I would need to draw a circle right there just to remind myself to play F. Now, because this one's kind of on the left side, that would be something you'd play in your left hand. And then we'd build everything else with your right hand up here. And the next page, I'll show you how we would do that. Before I switch though, we only have the letter and the number here. There's nothing else written. And if that's the case, if it's just a letter and one number, you already know that it's going to be a major chord with something else added on top. And that's what the number's for. And the diagram here explains why. Everything that's like all the chords that are written in red, this is the way that the chords might be written in a chord sheet. Like in the previous video, we had a few chords that were from that Garth Brooks song. And we're not in the same key, obviously. We're in F this time for the example. But anyway, when those chords show up and it's just one letter and nothing else, you always assume that it's a major chord. If there's a lowercase m after it, then it's going to be an F minor chord. And that rule applies to all the letters. It could be A, C, B flat, anything. They're all going to be minor if there's a lowercase m after them. This one, that little circle right there in the kind of superscript we call that, or if it says F and then DIM, that means we're going to play an F diminished chord. And you'll notice these piano diagrams show you what these mean, but I'm just going to go through these first and then show you where you put your fingers. And then the last example, an F with either a plus or F with the aug. That's shorthand for augmented. Again, dim was short for diminished, but aug means augmented. And so let's just look at these charts now and see what these actually mean. So let's look at the major again. Major is going to be an F, an A, and a C. See how what's showing on my screen at the bottom there matches with where those red darts are? See, we've got a group of 3 black notes, and we're starting on the white note just to the left of that first one. And then the next one's over here. We're going to skip a white note. That's where the middle note goes, and we skip another white note, and then the highest note is that C up there. So there's an F major, okay? So when we do an F minor, the top and the bottom note are exactly the same, but what changes is the one in the middle, which is also known as the third. And I'll kind of talk about that a bit too. But so now we have a minor. We just slid it over to a flat note instead. And so now that sounds minor. Now, each one of these that I'm showing you right here they're all triads because there's 3 notes in them. The triad, we have the root, the third above it, and then the 5th above the root. Okay, so there's the F minor again. So root, the third, and the 5th, because we would number these scale steps like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's why I'm calling that 5. So there's that. Now I'm sorry that, oh, you know what? I forgot to do one little thing. If I would have changed this key signature is still set up for the previous song. That's why it's showing everything with accidentals, but whatever. Another thing that you'll notice with my videos, when I play this F minor up here in the, move my mouse over here, in the chord name view at the top right, this will always show you what chord I'm presently holding based on the combination of notes that are there. If I only play one at a time, it'll just, well, it didn't even show me anything, but okay. I guess I have to have at least 2 before it starts to recognize it. So that one, if I just play F with the A, it calls it F major third. Most of the time in a chord structure, they wouldn't bother writing all that out because that takes so much space to write that. In most chord charts, it would just say F, and it might say no 5, which just means that the C is missing. Or if it went this way, where there was in the third, it would just go F perfect 5th, or it would just say F no 3, something like that, just so you know that you don't need to play the 3. So it'll say something like that. Okay, let's look at the triads down here, farther down the page now. So now we have the F sharp diminished. So diminished is like extra minor, because here's minor, But then if we take the fifth and flatten it 1/2 a step and go to the neighboring note right there, now that's diminished. Okay, and that sounds even more minor and kind of ominous. Ominous. I can talk. Okay, so F diminished sounds like that. Okay, and then the last triad we're going to show you, and another word for this, I would refer to this as the chord quality, is the augmented. So we went from here, like major, but it's like extra major. It's bursting this up to here, and just going up 1/2 step to this C sharp. That's the C sharp that we're adding. So there's an F augmented triad. Okay. And so going back to our example from the previous page, we knew that we just needed an F with a 7. The next video will show you how we interpret the numbers that go with these.